Crank that sound or grab your earbuds. It's time for Artist Direct on FM 100.5, your inside scoop on the music scene. Brought to you by Singing Hammers Construction.
It's Artist Direct here on FM 100.5, and of course, you know I've been excited about this for the last couple of weeks. I've been talking about it a little bit during the morning show with Tim, but very excited to have on the air with us this morning here on Artist Direct, Jason Isbell. Good morning, Jason.
Morning. Thanks for having me.
Are you kidding? Thanks for doing this. The new album, Something More Than Free, obviously we've been spinning it quite a bit here at FM 100.5, but pretty big deal that first week it came out #1 on Billboard country, folk, and rock charts, which is a big deal. Were you expecting that?
I wouldn't say I was expecting it, no. But it was really exciting because when you do something like that, more people wind up talking about it, and then more people hear about your album. So it was nice, I was very happy that it happened and surprised, I guess, in a lot of ways.
Well, it's been exciting for those of us that have been kind of tracking you. I won't say stalking, but tracking you and your career to see some folks that maybe hadn't heard of you before or hadn't heard your music really stand up and take notice. That has to have made a little bit of a change in how you get recognized and get noticed out on the street. If it wasn't already the case, it's got to be a little different now.
Well, I mean, if we're playing a show somewhere and I'm walking around in the neighborhood where the show is or something, some folks will come up sometimes, but I live in Nashville, so usually if somebody was going to come up and say hello to me, then they would notice somebody like Keith Urban, standing at the next aisle over at the grocery store, and he would get bothered a lot more than I would.
Yeah, I do get that. We used to live in L.A., and we used to run into, like, P. Diddy in the grocery store at Ralph's. It was like, okay, it's not such a big deal anymore.
Yeah, it's we see a lot of folks around town here that are very, very famous, and everybody's got to go to the grocery store.
It's kind of funny, right? So have you and Amanda, your wife, Amanda Shire, is obviously a musician, and people know her, and you guys have been doing a lot together. Do you guys have those moments where you go, Amanda, look who's down the aisle and getting bread?
Yeah, yeah, we do that. We definitely do. Yeah, quite a lot in Nashville, especially. It happens all the time.
That's kind of cute. As long as we're speaking about Nashville, I have to say we were kind of chatting here on the morning show earlier this week about how you and Amanda took over DJing at, was it Lightning 100 in Nashville?
It was.
We kind of checked in. So should I be worried about my job? Are you guys settling on a new career?
Well, I don't think so. I don't think so. My wife, she came up with that idea, and I agreed to it, and it turned out to be a whole lot of fun when we got in there and got started. But yeah, I don't think that would be something we would do on a daily basis. I can't really be cheery enough to be on the radio all the time. I would probably make it about a week, and then I would get in some kind of major trouble because I would come in grumpy and just not pay any attention to the rules. But it was fun. We had a really good time just goofing off and being ourselves.
Well, it was really fun to listen to, and it was kind of cool that you guys ended with a Todd Snider song. We've actually had Todd here on Artist Direct in the past and had a really good time with him, and it sounds like you guys have a pretty good respect for him.
We do, yeah. We both love Todd. He actually performed our wedding ceremony.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah, so we've known him for a long, long time, and I think he's a brilliant person, and he's got a real good heart. So we're happy to be fans and friends of Todd's.
Well, that's so exciting. Let's talk about the album just a little bit here. For someone like me, I'm listening to Something More Than Free over and over in my car, and I'm thinking, some of these songs, they make me think of my family, like If It Takes a Lifetime or Something More Than Free, kind of these working man songs, like real hard work folks. And it made me wonder, your experience, both in rehab and in life, are these songs are they pegged by certain people that you've met or or is it simply characters that you come up with?
Well, I don't think I could do it without some pieces of reality. So there have to be some real people in those songs for them to work. Because real details usually work way better than ones you can make up. But that being said, I don't always write a song about, or a character based on one person who actually is. Usually it's a combination of a few different people or conversations that I've overheard. I definitely get inspired and motivated to work by individual people that I do know in real life. But one of the good things about writing a song is you don't have to stick to the truth, and you don't have to stick to fiction either. You can mix the two however you feel like it.
Yeah, somebody said something interesting to me once about that, about how it doesn't have to really have happened for it to be true. It can still be true.
That's a good point. I mean, you might not know of it happening, but there's a lot of people in the world that have been here for a long time. So at some point you can say almost anything is based on a true story.
Sure. I'm wondering, Rehab was such sort of a pivotal moment for those of us that have kind of watched your music and your life, both in how you and Amanda Shires have come together, but also in what sort of came after Rehab. I wonder, the stories that you hear while you're in a place like Rehab, do those come out later, or are they too intimate? Like, that's something you don't touch, the things that you kind of heard and experienced while there?
Well, there's nothing that's off limits to me, but I do try to write in a way that is respectful to the people that I'm talking about. So I'm not going to write somebody's name into a song and tell their exact story, but yeah, the personal things that's what makes for good songs and good art in general. The things that you really kind of feel uncomfortable with sharing. I think if you're trying to make something that approaches art, you have a responsibility to share those things. So there's never anything that I think I can't use this.
That makes sense. Speaking of responsibility, it actually just got me thinking, your responsibilities have changed a whole bunch lately with the new baby girl. Congratulations to you and Amanda.
Thank you very much. She's healthy and happy.
And she seems to wear crocheted outfits well, according to your Instagram.
Yeah, she does. She looks good in crochet, which is a good thing because I come from a long line of crocheting folks. I can't do it myself, but a lot of people in my family can make some clothes.
Who made the crocheted football? That one just was so strange and awesome.
That was a gift from my little brother and his girlfriend, and I'm not sure if she made it or if they bought it somewhere. But yeah, my little brother's like this. He's a real country person, and I guess I probably started out that way, but he stuck with it. He does a lot of fishing and hunting, and he played football in high school, and
he's committed.
So he's serious. Yeah, he's really about that particular life. So he winds up giving some interesting things, camouflage and football related, and I like that kind of stuff too. So I think it's pretty cute to dress her up.
Well, that's fun. My husband has always said to me, look, life is like a novel, and if you don't have some interesting characters in it, it's going to be a really boring story.
That's true. That's true.
So I have 3 daughters of my own, and I remember what that was like when they were young, and I keep thinking, like, are you guys sleeping yet? Because she's only, a couple months old?
Yeah, she's 2 months old, and yeah, we're sleeping all right. She's getting up to about 5.5 hours at a stretch.
Sweet. Well done.
Yeah, for us, that's that's more than we'll get on the road most nights.
Yeah.
Even now that my touring is basically sound check and show and Netflix, and that's about it.
So you guys aren't taking her over to, like, are we going to see you guys running around at Gymboree play dates across the country, or are you just going to be Netflixing it when you break?
Well, we do. We have some plans. Like, we'll have her out with us on the tour in February. Up until then, she won't really have had enough of her vaccinations to go out and travel around much. We take her every once in a while, but there's some really good rules in place for that kind of thing. We were talking to Chris Christopherson and his wife a while back, and they raised kids on the road, and she was telling me that because of the Migrant Worker Act, the local high schools or middle schools, elementary schools, they have to open up their doors for a lab class or a music class or something that your child has to do with other children. There's a law in place that you can take them to a local school and they have to allow them to participate. So they use that a lot. And
although I love the irony, though. I love the irony of, like, Chris Christopherson and Jason Isbell and Amanda Shires taking their kids to a music class at another school. That's funny.
It's I really love to hear those stories from folks like that. There aren't many people like Chris, but they, his wife told me that they would go to the zoo when they were on the Highwayman tour. Usually Willie would go play golf, and Chris would go play golf with Willie, but Waylon didn't have any interest in playing golf at all, so he would wind up going to the zoo with Chris's wife and their kids. So every time they had a day off, they would go to the zoo with Waylon Jennings, which I think is pretty incredible.
That might be the best story I've heard in a long time. That's pretty good.
Yeah. That sounds like a good day at the zoo to me.
So, like I said, I have daughters as well, and my husband and I had this whole conversation about music and our kids. So we had these thoughts, what we're going to have them listen to, what we want to expose them to, and specifically maybe what we weren't going to let them listen to. And then two of them became teenagers. And so now we realize we literally have no control on what music they listen to, and that's okay. So I wonder, what's your take so far, you and Amanda, on music for your daughter? And are you playing her baby tunes?
Well, for the most part, we play for her ourselves,
Yeah.
I don't know if she'll always like that, but she can't tell us to stop yet. So that's what we do a lot of. But she, so far, the only thing she really has listened to a lot and latched onto is this CD of Willie Nelson lullabies, and it's just Willie Nelson songs done instrumentally. She really likes that. So I would be all right with that. But I know how pop music is constructed, and I know a lot of it is made to appeal to the part of your brain that's already done developing by the time you're a couple months old. So I fully expect that there will be a point where she wants to listen to that. I listened to it whatever I wanted to growing up, so I think she'll be fine.
Well, that's
figuring it out.
I was actually laughing about that because I was looking at an old interview of yours with a guy that Kyle Meredith, that we have a program of his on our air, and he was asking you about pop music, and you had your thoughts and you stated them clearly, and I thought, oh, just wait till his daughter is a teenager.
It's I like Kyle from Louisville, isn't he? Yeah, Kyle's from Louisville. Yeah, I like that guy a lot. But she's going to do what she wants to do. And you can't deny a teenage girl her pop music. I don't think that's a good way to do things.
I think that's a good theory, Dad. Well done. Again, we're with Jason Isbell here on Artist Direct FM 100.5. You're getting set to do a show. This is airing on Friday morning, so you're going to be in Eau Claire, Wisconsin tonight, which is the place of my birth. It's a good place. The State Theater is a gorgeous location. I know we have some listeners coming up there for the show. How's the tour been so far? How are you feeling? Are you wiped out completely?
No, I do all right with touring these days. I try to pace myself, and I don't really go out after the shows or anything anymore. So I get a pretty good amount of rest. And we're not touring in a van. It's in a bus, or we're a little more comfortable than we used to be. Really, anytime I get too tired, I just try to remember what it was like a few years ago when we're sleeping on floors and trying to get to the shows on time in a van. It's easier nowadays.
Yeah, when you put it that way, it's that does make it sound, you're kind of living the high class life now.
Yeah, for me, it most definitely is. I know there are probably some people out there who would complain about our standard of living, but I'm not going to be one of them.
Well, that's pretty cool. I do want to ask just one more question before I go, and that specifically is about your influences. So we talk about that a lot on our program. People that, I'm a huge Willie Nelson fan, Van Morrison, those are kind of my guys. Obviously, people know most recently in the last 10 years, you're one of them. Who are the people that you kind of look to and you still look to when you think about real songwriters, people that influenced you?
Well, there's some obvious answers to that. There's Bob Dylan and Bruce Springsteen and Neil Young and Leonard Cohen and Randy Newman and John Prine. I think if you're gonna write songs, people like that and Joni Mitchell, they have to find their way into your brain somehow, or you're just not ever going to really do it right. But more recently, I think James McMurtry is a great songwriter. I think there's some writers here in Nashville that I really look up to. I think Gretchen Peters is a great songwriter. Kim Ritchie is a really great songwriter. currently, there's some younger folks I like too. I like Ben Howard a lot. I think he writes really, really strong songs. But I still go back to things that work, the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. And I listen to a lot of Led Zeppelin. I mean, there's, even if they are talking about hobbits half the time, there's still some incredible songs. Really great riffs and incredible songs happening in that stuff.
Okay, so then the follow-up question to that is, who would you be embarrassed for us to know that's also in your musical background?
Oh, nobody. I don't believe in guilty pleasures. I don't. I think you should be happy about enjoying as much as possible. Let me think of something that I like that might throw people off.
Were you like a big? I'm not pegging you as like a big Boys to Men, back in the day or anything like that.
I did. I liked Boys to Men, but I'll stand by that choice. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Those were good songs, and that was kind of a natural evolution of Philadelphia R&B music.
Yeah.
Post New Jack, Northeastern R&B music to me was it evolved properly in that situation.
So how about Bop, the Hanson brothers, before they, tried to do some new stuff now?
That one missed me. I might have been a little too old for that one, I think.
Okay.
Had I been that age, I might have liked that song. Who knows? I'm trying to think of something that I like that wouldn't make a lot of sense.
Your friend Ryan Adams just did the whole cover of the Taylor Swift album.
He did.
Yeah, so are you guys like closet Taylor fans?
Well, I don't think she's a closet Taylor fan at all. I think she's an obvious Taylor Swift fan. Those aren't my favorite songs. I would rather hear him sing his own songs. But that being said, I know why he did it, and I think he did a really beautiful job of it. And it kept him occupied when he needed to be, and then it turned out to be a really good idea when everybody else on earth wanted to hear it. So I'm happy that he did that. I don't know. My favorite pop music nowadays is usually made by people who don't speak English very well.
Oh, great.
I like people who have English as a second language, maybe like Robin or Licky Lee or, some of those Scandinavian pop singers I like.
Yeah, Licky Lee's totally cool. Well done.
She's awesome. Yeah, she's really good.
Well, that's great. I'm so appreciative, first of all, that you took the time. I know you guys are touring. I know you got the baby. I know you probably are looking forward to whatever Netflix series you're stuck on right now. What is it, by the way? What are you watching?
Right now we've been watching The Last Kingdom, the BBC series called The Last Kingdom. It's about the Saxons and the Danes, when the Danes first came in and invaded England in the 700s. It's really good. It's bloody. I like bloody television.
Sweet. Yeah, that is. All right. Well, I know you're doing a lot, and we really appreciate you taking the time. And I wanted to end because I know with a song that isn't off of Something More Than Free, we've been playing a lot of songs from that album, but I do want to take a moment and go to another album and play a song from there that just has always captured me from the first day I heard it, about the relationship. It's you and Amanda and things that you've gone through, and of course it's a song, so there's a bit story there, but this song, Cover Me Up, every time I have seen probably every live version on YouTube that there is, and every time you guys do it, who knows if you were fighting backstage or anything happened, but every time you do that song, there's a moment when you connect. What does that song still hold the same kind of feeling for you now when you guys play it all these years later?
Yeah, I think it does. Most certainly. I mean, people react to that song in a real special way, and it usually puts me in the mindset that I was in when I wrote it. So, that's what they're supposed to do. I mean, if you can't remember writing a song, you probably shouldn't be playing it anymore.
Well said. Well, we're going to end with Cover Me Up. It's Jason Isbell and his very talented wife, Amanda Shires, new parents and out on the road, and we will see you guys in Eau Claire. Thanks again for joining us on the air this morning here on Artist Direct.
Thank you so much. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for listening to Artist Direct on FM 100.5, your inside scoop on the music scene. Tune in again next Friday for another Artist Direct, brought to you by Singing Hammers Construction.